Hey everybody, and welcome to my N5 series on the SP404 Mark II, where I cover a topic in about 5 minutes. British Anger, which is a pretty cool name. I didn't realize British Anger was personified, but thank you for doing that, and hopefully I can reduce your anger and stress levels through this video. But he writes in and asks, what does the strength, whoops, let's go over here. What does the strength value up here have to do with anything, and like what does it do? And unfortunately, I need to explain what this grid value or the QTZ, it's the quantization value, mean underneath. So if you turn the value knob all the way left, you're going to notice it says off. And what does off mean? Let's just start there. Well, the SP404 Mark II is 480 parts per quarter note. And if you don't know what that means, it basically means there's 480 places that a note can land per each quarter note. And the reason for this, I'm going to try and draw it a little bit. I won't be able to do the amount, but if you are just talking between a 1.1 and 1.2, there are, I can't draw 480, but there's like tons and tons of lines here, which are just equally spaced out between each quarter note. There's 480 of these spaces, which start at 1.1 and go up to 1. I don't know, it's like 1.1.4 79 or something, like whatever the numbering works out to. It will get you exactly that amount of values in between. The way the numbering system works internally doesn't matter, but effectively, what I'm trying to tell you is 480 is divisible by 3, it's divisible by 2, and many factors of 2, which means that we can do triplet. This gets us triplets. It gets us eighth notes, gets us 16th notes, and a whole variety of just different measurements in between that is important for how things work. So let's go back to, I should probably just turn the metronome off so that I don't have to keep listening to it while I'm trying to explain. We'll go metronome off. All right, we'll go back to record here. It's going to do it anyway. Turn the volume down. All right, so back to this. So we've got strength up here, and then we have QTZ. Right now I've got grid 32, and that would be basically saying we've got 132 or 132nd notes. So, you got eighth notes, quarter notes, 32nd notes. Like the list can go on, but the SP404 Mark II will by default go down to 32nd notes. Otherwise, you're going to off where you're unquantized. Now, with a strength of 0, you're actually still unquantized. And when you play a note, it's going to land someplace on this 480 ppqn grid. And if we actually take grid and I move it all the way to 4, what we're effectively saying is we have 1 part per quarter note. And if we go look at a measure here, I'm just going to draw 4 lines. We've got 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. And then we technically have 2, or actually not 2.1, it is not 2.0, it's 2.1. Let's fix that. So what does this mean? Well, if we go draw this out, we got a timeline, and the only place, if you set strength to 100%, the only place that a note can land is either here, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, or 2.1. Well, it can land on 2.1, but that would be like depending on where you kind of land your note, if it slides that direction towards 2.1 or 1.4. But what's effectively happening is if I play a note, let's say I hit a pad note somewhere in between 1.1 and 1.2, it's either going to shift left to 1.1 or it's going to shift right to 1.2. And with 100% strength, it is totally going to land on either 1.1 or 1.2. So this is 100% strength. Now, if we end up doing something more like 50% strength and we play that note, it's going to shift, but it's not going to go all the way towards either the 1.1 or 1.2. And it's really depending on which way it gets pulled is where you kind of land it in the space here. But I can just show you. Let's go to, I'm going to go to grid 4. So if I go put this, let's say at 50, I'm going to go for 50. So it's 49, 50 is close enough. and I hit record. This would be something that, like, let's say we're trying to play some drums. What's going to happen? So you can hear, like, I just hit a double tap, and it has pulled the note over, but you can hear there's kind of like that weird double tap in there. Well, the reason why is at 50% quantization, it's not fully pulling it all the way over. So for most of those drum hits, I was pretty close to getting it landed. But if we come in and go shift and get into TR rec mode here, just go grab this, you can see my timing's pretty terrible, and it hasn't pulled these notes that were off. They're coming early, they got pulled close, but you can also see over here, this one apparently got pulled in the right direction. So if we go pattern, is it pattern edit in the pad? Yeah, so you can see this is on 0. So this is 1, 1. If we go to this one, we can see it says 101, 101, we got 97 and 117. That's actually where the double's coming in. So you can just see, it's like, it's pulling it, but it's not pulling it the full way. So what happens if we set this, oops, delete, I'm just going to delete this. So what happens if I switch this? We're going to go back to strength. If we go to 100% and I hit record, so I played it double time intentionally because you'd think that we'd get those double triggers, but with a 100% strength, it's pulling all of the notes. With the quantize, they have to be fully in place on the 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, and obviously 2 1, 2 2, 2 3, 2 4. But that's the only place they can live. Like it's not pulling it by a percentage or getting it closer in that direction. It is fully requiring it to be in that space. So if we just extend this out, a couple things you can note is if you want things on 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, and you're just worried about how you're going to perform them, and you're really just kind of worried about what the velocity is, I would say, it's fine to put it on grid 4. If you want to have it play at 8th notes, put it on grid 8. Similarly, 16th notes, put it on grid 16. So if we come in and do this, well, you're going to probably want to know, like, why would you not always do 100 or just do 0? Well, this is by putting it somewhere in between, it's pulling the note closer to the direction of where you want it to go, but it's still allowing you to have some like swing or groove that maybe you want to capture. And the strength is, don't confuse strength with swing, groove, or shuffle, because just wherever you play, it's going to be kind of where it lands, and then it's going to apply that percentage for how much it pulls it in the direction that note should go. But like if we go back to 50% strength here, and I hit record, something where you might want to be able to do this would be, so you can hear, like, I didn't play very great. In the grid, if 50% isn't going to fix anything that I make for errors. But if you want to have something that feels looser, it's not a bad way to do it. You can hear I got like some extra double taps. It's not going to fix them because the strength isn't set to 100%. So if you want to get a little wonky, you can certainly do this. Anyway, if we go extend this out, what ends up happening? Well, we're going to come down, and let's say we go, I'll do another one of these. 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, and we'll do 2 1. Well, if we're talking about how things are getting put in appropriately, obviously we can go 8th notes, and we just put an equal temperament line in between, and those are going to be our 8th notes, and we're basically just subdividing. So if you hit a pad and it's kind of here, it's going to tend to move, because it's closer to that 8th note, it's going to move towards the 8th note. Whereas if we play something here and you have strength 100, it's going to slide right over into that 1 2 pocket. And again, if your strength is not 100%, you're going to just have it kind of get that swing, a little bit more groove. This further gets extended if you wanted to even just break this down into 16th notes. I'm just going to put notes on the bottom because all the ones above the line still count, but this is where you'd see we get that, and really all you're just doing is taking a smaller piece of time that in which it will slide into the pocket. So if you're really leveraging Quantize, I would suggest thinking about when you're playing or doing a performance, where do you want things to go? And then the question is, from strength, how tight do you want it to be? Anyway, thank you for the question, British Anger. Everybody else, thanks for stopping by. Keep making music, keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good. And peace.